Hello and welcome to the channel. About 6 months ago I did an unboxing video of this watch, Pagani Design Daytona HOMAGE. Now it's time for the full review, but not only that, I will also share a 6 months ownership experience of this watch. So without any further delay, let's get into it. Hi and welcome to the channel. If you already subscribed, thank you and very warm welcome back. And if you're new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It does help us to bring you more reviews. I will go over the key features of this watch, which will include the parts that I didn't cover in the unboxing video. I will share the perspective of 6 months ownership and how various parts of this watch have been holding up. As usual, let's talk about the price first. This watch is normally available for $89.99 without any discounts from Pagani Design official store or closer to $70 from other sellers on AliExpress. I have a good experience buying from Pagani Design official store, which now also ships from European and USA warehouses. And of course, with various vouchers and discount codes that are usually available on AliExpress, you can knock off $5 or more from the listed price. Just a quick reminder that this watch is a homage to an iconic Rolex Daytona watch, nicknamed Panda due to its black and white color scheme. Rolex released this version of the legendary chronograph, or cosmograph Daytona as Rolex calls it, in 2016 to replace the outgoing model with a metal bezel with this ceramic bezel one, made of what Rolex calls cerachrome, a fusion of ceramic and chrome-based materials. That watch commands a premium price. There is at least 12 months waiting list if you want to buy it brand new from an authorized dealer, or you can buy it on the secondary market where it is available starting from about $20,000 US. A quick recap of dimensions. The case diameter is just under 40 mm, measured by the bezel it is 39.5 mm. The height of the watch is 11 mm, that is one of the reasons it is so comfortable on the wrist. Lug width is 20 mm, giving this watch that classic 40 by 20 case to lug ratio. Lug tip to lug tip is 48 mm, and end link to end link, because we do have slightly protruding end links here, is 53.3 mm, which allows this watch to maintain a nice wrist presence even at a modest, by modern standards, 40 mm diameter. Here it is on my 7-inch wrist. The weight of the watch is 129 grams after adjusting the bracelet to my 7-inch wrist, and about 145 grams on the full bracelet. The bracelet tapers down to about 16 mm at the clasp, and the clasp is just over 18 mm. The watch feels nice and balanced on the wrist and not top heavy, so it will work nicely on a leather or NATO strap. Let's have a close look at the dial. I suggest we do it a bit different this time. We will break it in two parts. First one will be dial design, if we can call it that, and then the actual execution. So, the design first. Dial layout and wording is done well in my opinion. I like that Pagani used some red accents here, which mimics red wording on the Daytona. There is a minute track and applied hour markers filled with LUME. There are 3 subdials, a 24-hour subdial at 3 o'clock, a running second subdial at 6 o'clock, and a chronograph 60-minute subdial at 9 o'clock. The subdials chapter ring are textured and even have subtle sunburst effect. Simple but elegant lumed field hour and minute hands. There is also a date window between 4 and 5 o'clock. I like that Pagani decided to include the date window. I would not go as far as to say that it makes this watch original, but it does add to practicality in my opinion, and it is actually hardly noticeable. Now, the execution. Actually, it is not bad. The print is clean, the applied markers and hands look good and clean as well. Here you see how they play in the sunlight. For the record, there was no extra optical filters used in this footage. And you really need to get to the 20 times magnification macro lens to see any QC imperfections around our markers and the date window. Of course, usual pitfall of Pagani Design, a quite superficial LUME. They are getting better at this, truth to be told, but hey, I guess there's only so much you can squeeze into a watch to keep the cost under $90. This watch has nice and flat sapphire crystal, as you can see after 6 months of daily wear, and the condition of the bracelet can attest to it. The crystal looks pretty much brand new. Not sure if there is any anti-reflective coating present, but the dial is quite legible at various angles and light conditions. Moving on to the case, polished top and sides of the case, actually pretty decent finishing at this price point. Also, as you can see, the case didn't pick up as many scratches as the bracelet, which is nice. We have a well-proportioned side screw-down crown and the screw-down pushers. The back case is screwed on as well. Now, this watch actually declares 30 meters of water resistance. However, Pagani Design since updated the rating to 100 meters, which means that you can actually take it for a swim. Well, personally, I think it is positive development. However, taking into account some notorious quality control issues that I've observed so far while buying Pagani Design watches, and I have a few by now, I would take 100-meter water resistance with a pinch of salt and try to keep this watch away from the water if I can help it. Looking at the bezel, we have a nice ceramic bezel with tachymeter markings. Now again, this watch has been a daily beater for 6 months, and there is pretty much not a single scratch on this bezel. It looks the same as the day it came in the post. This is where the use of ceramics really pays off. The white markings are engraved and still looking good. I also would like to point out that this is not an insert, like on a Pagani Design GMT Batman watch for example, but rather a one-piece full ceramic bezel in a similar style as it is done on Rolex Daytona. This watch has a hybrid MECA-QUARTZ SEIKO movement, model VK63. This is a highly accurate movement with plus-minus 20 seconds a month accuracy and can last on one battery up to 3 years. A quick point on the chronograph 60-minute sub-dial. It has only 5-minute track, which makes it a bit, should I say, less user-friendly. However, you can still count in minutes if you follow the big second hand. On the positive side, the MECA-QUARTZ sweeping hand allows you to register the time with the accuracy of 1/5 of a second, which is a useful precision tool to have at your disposal at the drop of a hat. However, if I had to time some serious competitive sporting events, I would personally look for more appropriate tools for the job. Okay, the bracelet is where things get a bit more interesting, so bear with me. First, the positives. I like the overall design of the bracelet. Well, I didn't say the execution, I will get to it in a second. I like how the end links are nice and flush with the case. Look, I'm sure that on a 20,000 Rolex the end links might be even more flush and with the better tolerances, but I think we need to keep in mind that this whole watch costs about the same as one second-hand link of the original Rolex bracelet. So, with that in mind, we have solid links, including end links, and after 6 months the bracelet hasn't sagged as much as I expected it to, so it is also positive in my view. The polished surfaces of the links are scratch magnets, as you can see. However, we decided to leave it on the bracelet and see how long it lasts. Also, the bracelet offers various macro adjustments. As you can see, there is even a half link included, and of course we have an on-the-fly easy link style extension and 5 macro adjust positions on actual clasp. Now, moving on to the clasp, well, the look and design is good. No surprises here. However, when it comes to execution, this Pagani Design clasp definitely falls short. Well, to start with, there are some sharp edges, which definitely shouldn't be there. However, it is actually could be the least of your worries because the tolerances are very relaxed. It is quite loose and unfortunately it doesn't get better with time. So there are a few options to consider. Number 1, replace it with a strap, and a lot of viewers go for that option. With a 20mm lux, there are plenty of good quality straps out there that will not break the bank. Option number 2 is to buy a better third-party clasp on AliExpress, for example. This can be found for $20 or $30. However, this could still be a gamble and you could end up with the same type of lemon. And third option is to use this one carefully until destruction. Well, as you can see, we chose the last option and it has been working so far. Time will tell for how long though. So, please let us know what you did with your bracelet. Did you replace them, or is there some other magic option that I haven't considered yet? Please let us know in the comments. I normally leave the bad and the ugly for the end of the review. However, here it is a bit different because I covered the bad and ugly that we experienced so far with this watch, which were predominantly issues with the bracelet clasp. So let me briefly go over the good parts. I'm quite happy with the overall package, and I think it is very important to keep in perspective the price point of this watch and a number of features and quality materials that were packed in its $85 price tag. Ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, reputable SEIKO MECA-QUARTZ movement, brilliant looks, and solid link bracelet. I cannot vouch for Pagani Design, and by the way, this video is not sponsored by them. I can only speak based on my purchase experience from Pagani Design official store on AliExpress. They were always responsive and tried to sort out the niches ahead with their watches, so if you get a lemon, which is quite possible with Pagani Design QC lottery, reach out to them and see if they can help you and sort you out. And of course, let us know how you wear your Pagani PD 1644 Daytona homage. And of course, like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.